So it's time for a little bit of a coffee chat and a very warm welcome to the Asia show. My name is James, and the title I haven't really composed yet for this, but I just want to reply to some of the comments I get. Now, one person called me deluded and didn't know anything about Asia, even though I lived here for 31 years. Regardless of that point, you don't actually have to live in a country to understand that country. But a lot of people would say you need to have your boots on the ground. Now, let's say I'm not in Asia. Let's say I haven't stepped foot in Asia. Let's say I live in the United States. But I have Chinese friends who maybe I gained at school. My symptom is I've been in Asia basically since 1993, the end of 93. So you could say this year is sort of like 31 something years. It's quite a while. And I found my home in Asia. I found the money in Asia. I prefer living in Asia than I do in the UK. Today is March the 2nd. It's the beginning of summer here. It's stifling hot. It's like 35 degrees. And I've just turned on the air conditioning in the studio and it's like 30 degrees. You can just see it up there. There's my little temperature. The time is wrong. Oh no, the time is correct. With that. So when I get deluded, you say, where do I get my information from? Well, I do buzz on Twitter quite a lot, or X as it's called now. But also I have many friends who live in Hong Kong and I have many friends who live in Shanghai. As I worked in Asia for a long time, most of my friends, you could say 90% of them, are Chinese in one way or the other. So when I get something about the COVID lockdown in Shanghai, I would go and speak to my friends, people, their boots on the ground, their nationality, they live there. And I say, what's it really like? And we would communicate through different channels. Now, in China, there's something called WeChat, which is a little bit like Facebook. But this is quite heavily monitored, or supposedly monitored. I have a public IP, which means it has quite a good security level. So if someone tries to hack into my WeChat account or another account, I will get an alert and on my computer and basically will say, this person is trying to access, do you accept or not accept? You block them, then they can't. This has happened a couple of times when I got my public IP quite a long time ago with that, and then it's been quiet. But I'm not going to use WeChat. I use information technology like Telegram there, and there it's like WhatsApp. It's very, very encrypted. It's very secure, and my friends would actually have a chat about it. When COVID happened, I knew a doctor in Beijing, and I just asked him and said, what's it like? And he actually gave me a recording. It's somewhere on my channel way back from 2020, somewhere around like that. So deluded, well, that's up to you. And then I just want to explain to some people as well that, why have you deleted my message? You deleted your, you know the word I want to say, phony. Well, if you use any bad words on my channel, I can block them. So if it's the word beginning with F or C, A, I think you tried to get the meaning of it, then it automatically goes into the comment section, the held for review. Doesn't get blocked, but very rarely will I go in there and have a look at that. But I do occasionally. I did literally just now, and then there was one guy saying, you are phony, yeah? And like that, and say, why do you keep blocking? Well, I don't. You can, by all means, constructive criticism is fine. But don't do a personal attack against me. Yeah? Give me your evidence of why you disagree with me, etc. Show me the link that you got your evidence from, etc., etc. Then, if I'm totally wrong, yeah, I will apologize. I'm a very honest and open guy. People say, why do you bash China? Well, The Chinese people, no, not at all. Do I bash the government? Hell yeah, I do. And the companies that connect with the government, like the train system. China has a wonderful train system, yeah, but it's $900 billion in debt. I don't know how much the one in England is, even though, yeah, it's really poor compared to China. But the European high-speed train network is actually very, very good. That's why I compared it along with the original high-speed network like in Japan. So that's what I'm doing. It's just common sense with that. But again, some people would call me deluded and you just don't know, etc., etc. So the videos that I do show, let's say I have the permission to use them from Twitter, and it's just giving a different perspective. Every story has two sides. Every story has two sides. And you would see a lot of people, the Chinese propagandists, would actually only do one side and say China is great and America is bad. And in some aspects, yeah, I would agree. But in other aspects, I would say America is great and China is bad. Two sides to the story. Now, if these people don't show two sides to the story, isn't it my prerogative and is it my right to show the other side of the story, making the actual story even? So you, as the viewer, can actually choose which one through your thought of mind. Do you agree with me? That's okay. If you disagree with me, hey, that's okay as well. And if you're angry with me, whatever, then put in some constructive criticism. Don't say, or in England, we can go like that. I'm not even going to show that to you, but you know what I mean. With that, I think it's time for a little bit of coffee and come back with some more nagging. YouTube is a great platform and it's for everyone who is allowed to post a video as simple as this and putting their own point of view across. I know many people will say this is a complete load of baloney. That's fine. There's many videos that I watch and they say it's a complete load of baloney. But I try to reply to most people who don't swear or do a personal vendetta about me, calling me deluded, blind, or a phony, whatever. But have a polite conversation with me, but critical. There's no need to get mad. I criticize the Chinese government quite a lot. And yeah, but how many people criticize the American government or the English government? Do I like the new Prime Minister of England? Not really. I don't even know his name, apart from being Ricky. Do I like the man in the White House at the moment? Not really. I don't think he should be there. I think he's possibly one of the useless leaders in the world. But that's my opinion. But I know some people would disagree with me. What do I think of Xi Jinping? Well, ever since, you could say, the Panama Papers, when he blocked his corruption scandal or how he got into the Panama Papers in 2016, then if you typed in Xi in Baidu, which is the Chinese Google, and Panama, there was nothing there. But if you typed in Xi and in Panama Papers in Google, everything was there from lots of different news articles. That's why I sort of don't really like him, because he sort of really is like a ultimate power. He wants to be the champion. He wants to be the leader. He's power hungry. And a simple thing, that his salary, let's say his salary is $4,000 or $5,000 per month, whatever it is in Chinese RMB, like 35,000, 40,000 RMB per month. How come he's got $1.2 billion in assets? Doesn't work out. Where did the money come from? But I know some of you would agree, the salary of the President of America, how much is it? 150, 300,000 Americans, something like that, yeah? How come he's got billions of dollars or millions of dollars stored away with that? So it happens on both sides. But she is like putting a nice, squeaky, clean image of saying, I got rid of corruption, etc. Yeah, for the people who got in his way, or for the people who would try to overthrow him. Quite simple. So the simple thing is to rule by fear, like a typical dictator, rule by fear, and then you just don't want to. It's just not worth your while. You're just biding your time until he gets thrown out of the communist parties, or he retires or something like that. But is it safe for him to retire, etc., etc.? So this is what we try and do. So for the people who go on and on about one thing, about homeless people in China, for example, and say it doesn't exist, then I will do the opposite, and I will dig and I will search. There is one person, I mentioned this before, called Guilo60. Now, he is a Canadian and he lives in China, and there are some sad things which happen to him, and I feel sorry when you lose someone. But it seems like in his recent videos, he's changed a bit. He did show real homeless people in China. So going against the narrative of the other Western propagandists who live in China, saying there's no such thing. And sometimes their claims are so unbelievable with very little evidence. For example, when they go to the northwest of China in a place called Xinjiang and say there's no Uyghurs being upset from their life. But they don't actually go to the place where we want to see. They just go in the city. So it's defeating the purpose of their visit. And then there'd be lots of dancing and some drinking, and then they would interview some people, etc. But they don't go to the concentration camps and find out what's actually there in that respect. So, break time again. So to summarize, firstly, thank you so much to all the subscribers. I think it's like 32,500. It's growing quite slowly, but it's getting there. I'm trying to work out the search engine optimizers, which I just don't really understand, or keywords, which I don't really understand, etc. There. So thank you so much for that. Thank you to all the people who support my channel on Patreon, and many thanks to the people who do are the members. I think I've still got 8, so thank you to all of those. And if you do want to do super thanks, that's okay. Now the money that goes actually to my cats, their cat food. So on average, to be honest, on YouTube, I get about $100 revenue per month. It's sort of like tiny, but this is sort of like a hobby. So thank you to all the people who supported me over 5 years. The future of this channel, I have many ideas what I love to do, but it's something that I can't really afford to do as well. So I'm just hoping, praying actually, like most YouTubers or content creators, to get a couple of videos that do go bam, boom, hit the 100,000 viewer mark, and then you get the revenue would be actually quite large. I don't do this for a living. No way could I do it. But if there was a large one, I wouldn't sort of like go woohoo and buy a new motorbike. Well, I might, but what I'd like is to reinvest that money and do something different on this channel, like travel. Yeah, the travel that you've only seen me do in the last 5 years is possibly that I've been to England when my mum passed away, unfortunately, and to Thailand, where I just go and hang out with my friends and shoot some videos there, just walking about. I would like to do more, but the cost is beyond me. Remember, I'm 55 years old. I'm not on a high pension, whatever. I am retired, but I'm just trying to go there. Hence the rebranding of the channel, the Asia channel, because basically that's what it's all about here. And for the people who do watch the channel and do get frustrated, please do leave a comment by all means, but don't be impolite. Yeah, say I don't understand this, and then we can have a reply, and maybe it will come into the conversation. It may be a showpiece on my channel like that. It's just being open, and I believe in news that should be very, very objective. So if someone is going to be subjective on the other side, guess what? I'm going to be subjective on this side with them if I totally disagree with them, which equals the objectiveness of the actual topic that we're talking about, if that makes sense. There aren't many people that I do watch in who live in China, the Westerners, the Western propagandists, who seem to get paid by the CCP for doing propaganda. Well, they got a $7 billion budget. There's one guy called Jason Lightfoot. He's a young guy, and he makes a video about once every 2 weeks. And he would get maybe 140, 150,000 views. That's about maybe $800. So is that enough to live on? For $1,600 in China for a month? Well, if he's said that he's going to buy a house and got a new apartment, etc., the answer, and a kid, the answer is no. So where does the money come from for his support? Unless he's got another business or he does work, we don't know. But this is me actually speculating on that, but there's no actual hard evidence with that. What I want to do is leave a link in the description below of the channels that I do watch, which makes logical sense most of the time about China. And then if something captures my eye, I would sort of research it. If I can't find any research, hey, it just goes in the bin, let it lie. But I hope you do enjoy this channel. And if you don't like this channel, then tell me why. But constructive criticism, I would really like, because if there's anything personal, saying you're fat old English gentleman, I'm not going to say that to you. So in a constructive way, don't do it personal, and say why I am wrong, and then we can have a debate about it, a polite debate. We can agree, we can disagree, but we can accept a point of view. Let's leave it there for today. So thumbs up, subscribe, share this on your social media if you want to, and any financial support goes to my lovely kitty cats. And if there's enough financial support through Patreon and super thanks and memberships, then maybe some more exciting videos of adventures in Southeast Asia, for example. Basically a free holiday for me. It's a joke. God bless to all. Thank you so much for your time. It's something I can never give back to you, and I'll let you get back to your normal life. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye-bye for now. Cheers.